Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you'd like to see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Pro Cycling Manager 2018 Career Mode episode number 73. We head into a classic, not our team's strong suit, but it's the Grand Prix de Denain. So, for this one, it's pretty big cobbled sections that we're going through, but it's on the flat, so we'll see what we can do with this one. But not much in terms of expectations, but the cobbled sections are spread out throughout the race, so let's just go ahead and stick with it, though we will push quickly. Veldeman is my one Classics rider here with the team, one strong Classics rider anyway. And so we'll do what we can. He is amongst the favorites, but we'll see how long we can give him some sort of protection. He's got a little bit of sprint capability, giving him a decent shout out for the day. Jens W. Scher is certainly somebody who's a little bit stronger in the sprint and decent on those cobbles, so watch out for him at the finish. This series has been going for a good long while now. Thank you for those who are still sticking with it, still enjoying this series. I like that we are still able to provide some PCM 18 content, though I do know that in the not too distant future, this series will wrap up.
The bikes will be severely tested.
Alright, let's bring everyone to the front, because if you know anything about cobbled sections, that positioning near the front is more important than any other race on the calendar. I personally find it important for every race, and I know that occasionally people have criticized me for always trying to have my team near the front, but I consider it a no-brainer. Well, if you don't consider it a no-brainer, that's all good. More power to you. But if you don't think it's the right thing for a race with long cobbled sections, then in that occasion anyway, I would have to say that you're dead wrong, because here, more than anywhere else, that positioning really matters, because you will get splits in the group, and if you're at the back, it takes so much longer to get through that section than it does when you're at the front. I really see things open up from front to back. So we're going to be looking largely at cobble ratings and flat ratings for this one. So cobble and flat are going to be the main precipice on whether riders are going to be protected or offering protection. Like Osorio might be a great rider, but you could say that he is no good other than he's got good resistance, which means he could stay alive a while protecting somebody else. Guyard, it's not the worst rating I've seen, but certainly not good. There's Veldeman, that's our guy right there, and he's in good condition today. DeVos isn't too bad. Case Bull is certainly going to be a protected rider, and Van Ginneken. So Veldeman, Bull, and Van Ginneken. I think DeVos is going to be that other guy. So hold on, let's do it this way. Let's give Osorio with his long resistance. We'll give him to Veldeman. There we go. Alright. Looks like this stage, the setup is a little off in certain areas where the objects and the fans are kind of overlapping with the race course. It's all good though. We will survive. Alright, let's get everyone up to a suitable effort level just to make sure while we're off on our space cam, aka the helicopter camera. Make sure that nobody suddenly slips out the back. So this first section is 3 kilometers in length. You can see just how wide open things get in a hurry. But it's just a 2-star section, so this one should be easy enough for everyone to get through. But you can see those guys riding in the front, Osorio, Gouillard, Swerble, all taking a bit of a beating, protecting those other riders. And that's just one little section. Looks like 3 of the 4... Oh my goodness. The entire field just died. Everybody but Case Bull. My entire team, other than Case Bull, just went down. And Case Bull is literally by himself along with Calderero. Dubé makes it... No, of course, Debuchere makes it through. We'll see who gets up from this one, as looks like a good 20-30 riders went down.
One of the motorcyclists says that a rider is down. Apparently, he didn't interfere with the race. Oh, a rider has taken a tumble.
Is anyone stuck behind? No, everybody got up. Everybody got up from this one. That is amazing. Gouillard instead of Bull. Going to protect DeVos for now. And then when we get back up there, Gouillard will switch back to Case Bull. We are about to regain contact already. There's still other riders off the back, by the way. There's a good 33 riders behind us as we already remake contact. That's one of the advantages of being at the front. Something happens, there's an incident, everybody fall down, go boom. Everybody get up and get back on their bike, and just like that, they catch the peloton. If you're at the back end of that, that gap is far, far larger. But accidents happen anywhere in the pack at any time, especially in the rain on a stage like this. And that will probably not be the last crash of the day. Okay, Gouillard back to Case Bull. DeVos back on his own. And we continue on. We have a gigantic breakaway group of 3 riders in it. Let's see if I can do this while it's going quickly. I've got Manzin. Seen him a few times here. Can I see Perez and Haas? Another crash. Another crash. Okay, well, let's go back to the main group again. It's from the overhead. There's a withdrawal, and we've got some splits again. Another fall. They're close enough that they'll regain contact, though. It's still early enough in the stage. Rain stopping maybe just in time because we're about to head into our cobbled sections. This one that we're about to hit, we're going to hit 3 of the 4 times. And, whoa, 4 stars, 3.5. Okay, this is going to be brutal. We're in it right now. Oh, Gouillard with the puncture. At least it's Gouillard, not somebody else. He was protecting Case Bull. So, again, see what happens when you're at the front? Gouillard, all that time, stopped with a puncture, and he restarts before ever losing contact with the peloton. Now, later on in the race, this would absolutely lose contact, but right now we still have a large peloton, still spread out. The follow-up one's not bad, 1 star, 1.5K. Gouillard will make his recovery. Why don't I send him up with water, though? Let's do that. This is a decent occasion for that. Before he gets all the way up there, go ahead. Yeah, I know, through the cobbled section, but that one, there was nothing to it. It's only 1 star. Here's where we get into that glitchy, nasty stuff. Oh, just in time. They were just starting to call for it. Okay, Gouillard back in place. We're down to ×4. We're heading into another one as we ride through the buildings. Literally, not figuratively. 1.8K, 1 star. I've been out on this stage for a few different races. It does get incredibly annoying where the track overlaps in certain areas and does what it does on this one. Okay, next one up is the more difficult one of this sector. We've got 2.2K and 3 stars. And there we go, we hit into it right now. Everybody's right at the front. You can see Osorio, Goodyear, Swerble all taking a beating right away. But hanging on.
Apparently there's another puncture. The riders really should pay more attention to their choice of tires.
More punctures, but not for my team. Made it through that one in one piece. It's still 3 minutes to the gigantic breakaway group that I was first mentioning before the big crash happened, and I forgot about it and didn't mention it again. It's not a gigantic breakaway group. It's 3 riders, but they do have 2.5 to 3 minutes, and they've been holding that gap for quite a while.
An attack is launched.
Little uphill section to that bridge, but nothing doing. Pretty easy on that front. We're very much looking at a flat stage, and a bunch of guys just losing their heads while they ride through whatever that was, power pole for the freeway, something along those lines. Turning onto a very skinny road here. Just a small little connecting road as we turn off again. We're heading back onto that main circuit, and we're going to come up on that big section here in just over 2 kilometers. This is the difficult one, the challenging one, and we're going to be hitting it one more time after this. This time, pace doesn't look bad. I think next time, though, I think it's going to be pretty awful. This is where Goodyear had his puncture. So we're going to watch out for something along those lines, but we've got the guys right up front. 3.5K, 4 stars. And we're just about to roll into it here in just a moment. Oh, right through. Oh, right through. Okay, well, here we go.
The riders have to have their wits about them on this dangerous section. You never know what's going to happen on cobblestones.
Goodyear slipping back immediately, even though he's on protection duty. He's the furthest back right now of the team. DeVos is struggling a little bit. Swerble, Van Ginniken, Bull, Osorio all going backwards. Veldeman, the one who's holding his pace comfortably. Everybody else is slowly slipping back, but they're far enough forward that nothing should necessarily happen. Osorio, this could be a little bit much for him. DeVos, speed it up. Coming up on the exit. Should be okay.
That looks like a really bad fall. It's a shame, but he's not going.
Okay, peloton shrinking down to 62 riders. The next section is just enough to kind of stop some of the riders from getting back, from recovering, from regaining contact. So it's kind of good for that. It's just 1 star though, so it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. Osorio, the last one, getting back on board. He, Swerble, Goodyear, all at wit's end right now. They're just about ready to be dropped. And then we only have 1 more time through this. So this is actually still a really large field, especially for my team, as Osorio appears to be toast. So DeVos, go ahead and take over with our main man, Veldeman. And Osorio, let's try to hang on as best we can in the position.
It's been announced that a rider is withdrawing.
Withdrawn, I would imagine that's a broom wagon picking him up, and not from a fall or anything. Osorio is sliding backwards without the energy. He's not recovering. Goodyear, Swerble just hanging on to an ounce of energy here. And there's got to be plenty of others in this peloton that are struggling. Now, the breakaway is still off the front, but just barely. We do have some that are trying to get away right now. Ermino, one of those. Decent guy on cobbles, so that is an attack that's trying to go off to win this thing. Okay, breakaway's been caught. 62 riders now remaining. Swerble is now sliding backwards as well. He was protecting Van Ginniken. We lost contact there for a second. We've got one rider off the front trying to attack. It's Tuesday. He's caught right away, though. And now Gouillard also slipping back. So I've got Gouillard and Swerble both going backwards. What I need to do with them is let's just set. Let's go ahead and stop messing around with these guys. Those three are done. Now we're down to 4 here. We've already got DeVos on Veldeman, but between Van Ginneken and Bull, how are we looking? Van Ginneken's looking pretty strong right now. He is definitely looking fresh compared to Bull. So let's go ahead and switch that up. Bull, protect Van Ginneken. Now we've got Van Ginneken and Veldeman as our 2 main guys. Hopefully Bull can hang on as well. But we've only got one more time through that difficult section. I very well could be, instead of riding for Veldeman, I could be riding for Van Ginneken and Bull. But we don't want to risk it because I would imagine that we're about to do this last time through here at a hefty pace compared to what we have been doing. 24.5 kilometers to go, and one thing that I forgot about was the previous time that I got water was, what, 70? That's going to have to do. It's going to have to do. If we come through this section and we have a small group, then we can grab water easily, but otherwise they still have water in their bottles. It's going to have to do. We're not going to do it now right before we head into this 4-star section at 3.5K again. Okay, here we go. And we're right up front, all 4 guys anyway. The other 3 immediately off the back. Peloton down to 42. Van Ginneken, 82 is not enough. Speed it up. Even Veldeman, let's speed it up. Make sure we don't get dropped here. At an 80-70, still struggling. This is the life in the group. Don't get dropped, guys. Come on, come on. And there's a split. There's a split. 23 on the front, 17 in this group. My 2 sprinters are right here. They would have been ideal in that group. 42 seconds. I bet you we could bridge that gap right now. Here's what we're going to do. Let's change things up. Bull. You're going to go 99. Step it up, and sprint. Bull, come on, come on, come on. Call that a sprint? Okay, it's just 3 guys. We only pulled 1 up here with us. There we go. Hey, we made it. Except now we have that group attacking. Right as we make contact here. Relax, relax. Go back to protection. DeVos is just hanging on. We need to speed this group up now. So it's 14K. Here we go. So Veldeman and Van Ginneken. I want Van Ginneken following Veldeman. And then we're going to use the other 2 on the front. Use your gel right away. And we're heading into that section right now, but we've got 9 or 10 riders that are just pulling away at the moment. And that is not good. 13K to go now.
Somebody says that a rider is down.
Alright, we're through it. Now that we are through it, there's a clear gap between Van Ginneken and Veldeman, but I don't have support from the others, and it's 12.5K to go, and we've got 8 riders off the front. Schelling looks like we're going to catch him in a moment, but then there's still 7. I don't want to ride for 8th place, but at the same time I don't want to pull everybody else with me, and 12K is going to be really difficult for a 2-man chase. So what can we do with these guys? I don't think there's much that can be done. That's the front right there. Right there. And if I wasn't focused on Van Ginneken and Bull, I would have kept Veldeman in that group just fine. 10K to go. Now it's only 5 chasing 7. DeVos and Bull are gone. We're not actually in a cobbled section right now. What I need to do, though, is I need to switch this up before Veldeman's done. And Van Ginneken's going to go. So now it's just 4 chasing. Who are we giving a ride to? To Wanted Group Gobert riders. And now there's actually, there are 9 off the front. There were 2 ahead of them. The main group, the 7 of them are all right there. Veldeman's recovering a bit. Van Ginneken, he's in a little bit of trouble, though, as we're at 6K to go. Are we closing the gap? I don't know. It's 40 seconds now as they all come together. We need to reverse it back again.
Only 5 kilometers left.
Use their gel. Now it's 44 seconds. I don't think I'm going to catch him, which means we're really only fighting for 10th place. And that sucks. Veldeman's almost done. He needs to be the guy we go for because Van Ginneken is toast here. So one last time, we're going to swap them back. Van Ginneken, 3.8K. Ooh, there's one guy out front and we're about to catch him. But now they're starting their sprint from 3K out. Okay, Van Ginneken is done. So Veldeman, off he goes. Van Ginneken, just 99 to the end now. Oh, so close to bridging that gap. So stinking close.
There goes the sprint. The strong men are giving their all.
Last 1K to go. So close. This Wanted Group Gobert guy is going to get the jump on us too because he sat on the whole dive. Amador, Docker. W. Share only takes 8th. He should have won that comfortably. He should have outsprinted those guys. And then we end up in 11th and 12th because we give the free ride to Van Kiersbolk. Veldeman should not have been dropped through that cobbled section. He wasn't blinking red. He just got caught in a split. He was right at the front anyway, but I don't know. Maybe there was some sort of attack. Obviously, our attention was on Bull and Van Ginneken regaining contact at that point so that I have my sprinter in the group so that I can ensure victory at the end. And it didn't work out that way. Veldeman himself, even if he is at the front with those 9 riders, if you compare those 10, W. Share is absolutely a stronger sprinter. Amador overall, I don't know his rating, but Amador is certainly a strong rider and very capable. So we're not fighting for 10th place if he's in that group, but we're probably not fighting for the win. And we were certainly looking for the win. Van Ginneken and Bull and Veldeman at the front with DeVos with a little bit of protection there. You put those 4 guys with the other 9 at the front, or the 2 guys that were in tow with us. So, you know, if we put those 4 with those 11 in that group of 15, I'm gonna win that. I'm gonna win that comfortably. So it feels like it was the right play, the right move, trying to get them back up there, but just unfortunate, unlucky that Veldeman, without even blinking red, somehow loses contact with the front group. I'm sure those guys just probably attacked. That's got to be the only way. Otherwise, he's not going to get dropped there. Not a bad result, but outside the top 10. That's the annoying part. Is we manage 11th to 12th, and so close to regaining contact with that group. We dug deep. We fought to get in there, but it just wasn't enough. DeVos and Bull were gone too soon. Bull used up his energy to get them back to the other two. Before we move into our next race, some updates, key updates. First, training of George Simpson, bit tricky, groundbreaking training style, not his cup of tea. So let's see if we can fix that. It's Volgraph who's saying it's not his cup of tea. 3 stars, not bad. And they did work together before, but his style is modern. Let's see. I've got to see what is Vanderhyde is traditional. Zealand is modern. Okay. So they did work together before though. No? No, this is their first time. Okay. Well, hopefully this one will work out. Simpson wasn't so happy. So we have a new prototype. Let's see how it looks. Down there's the new one. We don't know what it looks like yet. We only know a little bit about it right now. But the previous model, you can see, other than being reliable and feeling very good, it's not very good in terms of quality. It's not light. It's not light enough at all. Paris-Nice, Thibaut Pinot takes the overall, Romain Bardet second, Richie Porte third. Good day for the French to take a 1-2. And the Giro d'Italia, a couple names that we're not too familiar with, but definitely not our name included on that list. Now the next race, it's a hill stage. There's constant undulation over the 190 kilometers. It's not very flat at all for as small as the elevation change is. There's a lot of up, down, up, down, up, down for this one. But as it's no major hills or anything, we should get most of the riders pretty close to the end before they're going to really start to feel that undulation. So we'll skip forward in this one a bit. But in terms of sponsors, things have not started so well for us this season. However, it's still quite early in the year. Tour of Oman, we just missed that top 5. The Omnib Hit Newsblad we missed out on of the top 5. So that's hurt. But you can see that we've only had a handful so far. But it's the last 3 in a row have been a bit of a struggle. But our next one is not until the middle of April, and then we push into May. So we're not going to have many opportunities, and that next one's only 1 star. So Eschborn Frankfurt is going to be kind of the next occasion. We need a top 5, and that's a World Tour race. So ouch. Ouch for that. That's not going to be an easy task whatsoever. So and even Amgen Tour of California, we need a stage win to meet that objective. And let's see, the end of the signing period, we have just 5 occasions to get it right and get things up. Of course, National Championships is a great day generally for us, where we earn a lot of result prestige and kind of pick things up right there, because at the moment we only have a couple pluses. Registered riders has gone a little bit better for us, but the evaluation on Osorio is decent for the squad. But look at that. It says it's good, but it doesn't say it's good. Right.
So high that a few riders are going to be very sore at the end of the day.
40k to go on this circuit. Been on this course quite a few times before in 2019 and in the 2018 edition. It's a good one, and it definitely does damage, and it's already at that point where it has done a fair amount of damage. We're riding at a 90 and actually struggling to keep up right now as the field begins to split. Staples has just been dropped. He was also the one tasked with making the effort of going back to get water. So Conchi is actually the guy who's left behind, and it's Bax who is being protected. Now, Bax is 68 on hills, but he's only 62 on mountains. I'm keeping around because he's the one sprinter I've got. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk to try to protect him to see if we can get him around. I've got plenty of climbers otherwise, and while I don't want to burn through Nicola Conchi, and I am currently burning through Vervecchi, I'd love to see if Bax can hang around. Otherwise, we'll let him go. Right now, the other protecting guys, Fuentes won't be missed, but I have a feeling we're making a mistake on Bax. But if the pace slows at all and Bax can make it there, he can easily win the sprint to take the overall. Otherwise, it's going to take a bit of a team effort from the likes of Osorio, Hamilton, Conchi, and Vervecchi, who all could get there if they weren't, playing the role of domestique. Playing the role of teammate, really. Not full-blown domestique, but certainly working for the team. Now, you can see in terms of the severity of climbs, only twice through remain, so things are going to get a little easier on that front, as our now just group of 40 chases the front group of 6, but there's 14 right behind, about to regain contact. But a lot of those riders are definitely struggling as we go back up, and the 6 riders off front, they are just right out here, so they'll be pulled back in pretty soon. There are definitely some bigger names up there, some stronger riders, but they've been out front for a long time, and that gap is definitely not big enough, or doesn't appear to be big enough for them. I'm going to speed it back up. You can see the full circuit from here from the aerial, and that climb right there is the biggest that we face throughout, so that kind of does it on that part. And now we only have to hit that one more time, and in terms of the finish, we're getting off close to where that is. It was right there in that town, so I think we already went through it.
There are just 15 kilometers left. Puncture.
Brake has split. That makes their catch almost certain now. Fuentes struggling though. You got quite a few riders here on the back. Good 8 or so riders that are on the verge of being dropped, so that's going to cut us down into the low 30s. 4 have been dropped so far. The 6 are back together, and their lead is back out to a minute and a half. So actually, we might have to get on with the chase. Otherwise, those 6 riders are going to win. We're down to 10K, actually. Okay, we're down to 10K. I did not realize we were this close to the end with those 6 riders still out in front. So Staples is out of contact. Fuentes is only going to last a few seconds here. But we need to make a move, and we need to make it now. Bax is totally fine, so we are going to ride for Bax. He has made it. Good job, buddy. In terms of support, who's going to be quickest? Conchi is. Conchi, you've got a little bit of a sprint to you. Let's follow Hamilton and Osorio. And then Vervecchi, who we used up a bit. We're going to use his gel and Fuentes is only going to last a moment here. He's going to come forward, and that's going to be that. In fact, Vervecchi already dropping back too far. I should have just gone with Vervecchi there. Come on, Fuentes. Fight through here. There's no space. Fuentes cannot get through the pack. He was at a 99 and couldn't get through the pack. He just spent 3K fighting to get through the group. Alright, Vervecchi has found his way through the group. He's got Osorio with him, but Hamilton's still caught behind. Conchi's still caught behind. And Bax. So we're still trying to get these guys to the front. Finally we get there, but the gap is still a minute with 3K to go.
This climb is feared by many riders.
Okay, Vervecchi is done now. Sorio. 2.6K and a minute to go. Okay, we got a 3-man break. We've split the field behind us. And there's the leaders, but I don't think we're going to catch those guys. So it looks like we're riding for 7th here. Hamilton, 800 meters. Bax has made it back, so everybody sprint. Everybody sprint. Yeah, we are fighting for 7th. That is not fantastic. Because look at this. We'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd have a 1, 2, 3, 4 finish if not for the break. So very unfortunate on that one, as we would have absolutely crushed the field here. Pietro Braun, not familiar with them. Franson and then Ermino are your top 3. The 6 riders of the break stay together. They only battled each other once. I should have picked up on the fact that we weren't close enough sooner. I stayed way too long on the aerial view. We were down to 10K before I realized that not only had we not caught the group, but they had pulled back another 30 seconds as the field had sat up in their chase. If I had noticed at 20K that we were still, well, we would have been a minute out. It's awkward that we never pulled that back because they never had a large lead. But apparently there just wasn't enough fight left in the peloton to get those guys, which is just weird because it was only 6 riders. And, looking at that list of names, that's not the strongest 6 riders at all. So that should have been an easy group to pull back. And if I had realized that they weren't getting pulled back sooner than I did, we would have pulled them back ourselves just fine. But it happens. It does. Sometimes break gets the win. And they got it here today.
In case you missed them, here are the race highlights.
And really unfortunate because we would have had a 1, 2, 3, 4 if not for them. I mean, we were all over it there. We closed it to 37 seconds. We pulled back a minute and crushed everybody else. We got one guy onto our wheel there at the end. And I didn't even see him around. I'm not sure how he got same time as us, but okay. When we finished, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was a while before I saw another rider cross the line. But maybe he was sneaky there. Threw his sensor out ahead of him, off the bike. Pulled his GPS, tossed it forward. I wonder if a rider's actually ever tried to do that. Be one way to scoot yourself up the standings a little bit. Your lunge for the finish line, instead of lunging, you're tossing your GPS ahead of you. Well, whatever it is, things happen. We do have another race. It's not much of one. I'm gonna go ahead and do that one off camera before we move on to the Dwars door Vlaanderen. That's the one we're going for next, and that's just a few days away. So it's a little bit of a classics period here as we go through this, which obviously is not my team's strong suit at all, but we'll deal accordingly. It's weird after how dominant we were last year that so far this season things just aren't going that well. But at the same time, you look at it, we're crushing the continental competition, and we're 13th still overall. So it's like it's been a quiet month, but the season on the whole is still looking really strong for us. So there's no reason to kind of hang our heads at this point, because actually, in reality, we're doing quite well. So we're not winning every race, but we're certainly leaving our mark, and it would be nice if that was all it took to get to the World Tour. These days, it's all about money. And not the biggest fan of the new, team index set that they went to here in the 2018 game. Cleaned it up a little bit for the 2019. I like the new models for that one. If you haven't seen the 2019 game yet, be sure you check out my series on that. Get a look at it. It is worth picking up. It's definitely a step in the right direction. Though, like some franchises out there, the amount of improvement year on, not quite enough. Not quite enough. But for an enthusiast like myself, I keep throwing my money at it year after year, just like I do for Football Manager and other games. But that's going to do it for this episode on Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.